Hello there, everybody. It's Tanya here. Just here to chat about what's going on with the planets this week for you. Now, I didn't do a video last week because I had the It's Time to Bloom retreat, which was so much fun. Really loved it. So I did a workshop on the planet Venus and where she fell in people's charts, and how she expressed herself differently based on the signs. And it was really, really good to actually have this in a workshop setting. So hopefully I'll do more of those in the new year. So stay tuned for more information. Then I got sick. So I pretty much just put everything to one side and just spent my time resting, which was probably needed. So yeah, now I'm back almost to full health, and very excited about this week because we are moving into Scorpio season. So the sun will be moving into the sign of Scorpio on the 24th of October, which is the birthday of one of my very best friends and also for one of my cousins. So happy birthday to the two of you. And happy birthday to anybody else who has their birthday this week or in Scorpio season. The sign of Scorpio is very complex. It's probably one of the most complex signs, in my opinion. It's about transformation, power, magnetism, anything below the surface. Like they say, it's like sex, death, and transformation represent Scorpio in a nutshell. There's also a lot of things related to the occult seem to fall under Scorpio's realm. So it's all about magic as well. And, you know, the magic that we create in our lives and what we do with it and what we do with the power that we create ourselves. So it's a very special time of the year, I think, for us to start to step into our own power and to move forward with our goals and everything that we want to do moving into 2020. Like we're nearing the end of this decade, which is just really, really bizarre to think about. You know, I finished high school in the year 2000, and if you'd asked me what I was doing in the year 2020, I probably wouldn't have even said that I'd be doing astrology, but here I am. And so things can change. And, you know, it's really interesting if you think back to the year 2000 and the new millennium and what you thought it would bring and where you are now. And yeah, it's a really interesting time for reflection. So Scorpio, the sign of Scorpio is represented by three, I guess, animal-ish, guess. So there's the scorpion itself, and that has a hard shell, and it's got a sting in its tail, and it will, a scorpion apparently will sting itself to death if it feels threatened before it will let you hurt it. Or it will, like, you know, flip its tail and hurt you. So you can find that perhaps a Scorpio in your life is, you know, has a bit of a sting in its tongue sometimes when it says things. It can be a bit sarcastic and a bit hurtful without even realizing. Or it might, if it feels threatened, perhaps in a relationship setting, it might reach out and hurt the person that they're in relationship with before, if they feel like they might get hurt themselves. You know, Scorpio might think it's always better to do that rather than to feel the pain itself. But that's not to say that Scorpios are, you know, evil people. I have a lot of my best friends are Scorpios. I have a lot of them in my life. And once you have that trust with the Scorpio, and they let you see that soft little underbelly that they're protecting, then they're really amazing people to have in your life. And you know, the scorpion itself, it's just one aspect of the sign. The next part is the eagle, which is flying and surveying the land, and looking down and seeing everything that's going on and taking it all in before it actually can swoop down and get what it wants. And so Scorpios don't miss a thing. They notice all the details. You can't hide a lot from them. They're very perceptive as well, and because it is a water sign, they're very deep and in touch with their emotions, and they like that depth of intimacy as well. Once they let you in, they crave that, and so that's again why it's such a complex sign. All of that protective armor that it has, it's just to protect themselves and their own feelings, which run so deep that they feel like they need to keep them safe, which is totally valid. Then there's the third part of Scorpio, which is the phoenix, which transforms itself. It bursts into flame and then it rises from the ashes renewed. And so Scorpios are very, very good at reinventing themselves and transforming. And so it's this amazing transformative power that we can now use, being in Scorpio season, to turn what might have been a bit of a ridiculous, crazy year for a lot of us into something that's really beautiful and magical and magnetic. So that's why I'm really excited about Scorpio season. It's a time for us now to step into these goals and dreams that we've been holding for ourselves, and which may have gone a little bit detoury up until now, and it may have caused us to burn some of our own bridges and some of our own ideals and thought patterns, where we can now rise up and be renewed from it. So that's pretty magical, hey? Stepping into our own power. The other thing which really adds weight to this Scorpio season is we've had Venus in Scorpio since the 9th of October, and she'll be there through to the 2nd of November. So Venus representing our values and self-worth. She's also how we attract things. So you might find that you are extra magnetic during this period while she's in Scorpio. Also, Scorpio is a very sexy sign. You've got that sexy, erotic side of it. So that might come out with us in our interactions with others. Being magnetic, attracting those different partners to us, attracting a different way of doing things. And the other planet in Scorpio at the moment is Mercury. And Mercury entered on the 4th of October and will be there until the end of the year on the 29th of December. Now, in the middle of all of that, Mercury will be having a retrograde from the 31st of October through to the 19th of November, which I'll probably talk about more in the coming weeks. But basically, a retrograde is a period for us to reset, realign, rethink, all these rewords. It's not something to be afraid of. Mercury retrograde people seem to freak out about a lot because, yes, you can have delayed flights, you can have computers breaking down. All of this seems to happen a lot more during a Mercury retrograde than at any other time. But basically, the way that I see this retrograde happening in Scorpio, it's a chance for us to be the detective in our own lives. So Mercury in Scorpio likes to probe. It likes to get to the bottom of things. One of my Scorpio friends, he also has his Mercury in Scorpio, and he will ask a lot of questions and get to the bottom of things and get all the details. So during this period, get all the details in place. Look at where you want to go. Look at what you need to do to get there, and make sure you do it. Even the stuff that might feel uncomfortable or that you might want to avoid, you still need to do it. So use this as a chance to dredge all of that up and put it on your to-do list and get all the things in place so that when you step into 2020, you're in a really good space and you feel really powerful because you know all the details. And then you can just get it done, baby. So, I feel like this is a really exciting time. Like I said, I love Scorpios. I love Scorpio season. So, this is the beginning of a time for us to start to transform and change, and to, just dig up a lot of that stuff that we might have been pushing down, and we might have been hiding for most of this year. So good luck with it all. If you would like to find out, whether you've got any particular planets in Scorpio itself or how these transits might be affecting you, then please do book in for a reading with me. I'd love to connect with any Scorpios out there during this season, or anybody else really for that matter, and to chat about how you can harness this energy for yourself a little bit more personally. Okay. So have a good week, and I'll chat to you soon. Mwah.